Okay, where am I? Where am I? There we go. There we go. Hi, Vesta. Hi, Linda. How is everybody? Thank you for being here. Hi, Linda. There are so many Lindas in this group. I love it. So to all the Lindas, good morning. Oh, my bangs are a little... looking at myself and my bangs are not right. Hi, oh my goodness. Susan and Jasmine and Kathy. Another Kathy, Becky. Good morning. So this is really scrolling fast, so I can't keep up with it. But good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm still a bit tired from on stage. Came back feeling fine. Just a little tired, that's all, because I got another event this weekend for a tea that I'm helping my friend with. So it's been busy since I've gotten back. On stage was fabulous. I went with a group of friends that I cannot remember laughing as much as we did. That's the great thing about on stage. You get with a group of friends and you go and you get to see the friends that you haven't seen in a year. It's just really amazing. But I'll tell you what, the group that I was with, we all stayed in the same hotel. We hung out with each other daily. It was just way too much fun. So, not going to go over everything with on stage. I'm still processing pictures and I still have my bags sitting here. I unpacked my suitcase, but I still have a lot of other things sitting here. So I'll do like an on stage thing another time. But what I am going to show you are the new in colors. And I just pulled some cardstock from what is current. I did share a post where a demonstrator in Australia, her name's Alyssa, she had taken the new in colors and paired them, like comparing them with some past Stampin' Up! Colors. I don't even remember half of those because I came and went with Stampin' Up! Just as a customer. So what I did was I have pulled some of what we can order to kind of show you where the color fits in, so you get a little sneak preview. And then I can't wait to go and show you the Kaleidoscope tile. Now, I first saw this done by Amanda Fowler in the UK back in 2021. And when I shared it while I was gone, just to give you something to do, because you need to still make a quote card if I'm not here. And it really had a lot of interest. And I had people reaching out to me about a PDF. Well, back then I didn't do PDFs. So I thought, well, this is a great opportunity that I'll show it again, because then I can create a PDF that you will find this weekend, and then you can have it for your files. Now, it will be in the files over in our community group that's called Quilt Cards and More. That's where Facebook will let me store these PDFs. They won't let me store it on the Chirpy page. So, that's where you'll find it. I just thought it would be a great opportunity. I am going to show you the Kaleidoscope tile using the upcoming new in colors and pulling in some of our standards to give a little contrast in with the block. So I'm going to flip the camera around and we're going to get started. While I'm doing that, please greet each other, say good morning. This will just take a few minutes while I kind of rearrange some things. Okay, so you're going to kind of get a peek, whoa, of the new, whoa, stuck my hands right in there, the cover of the new catalog, which at Onstage we all got, excuse me, a hard copy. And I will be updating my customer list. So if you have placed an order in the last 6 months with me, I am going to have Stampin' Up! Send you the catalog. I will order some extras. Excuse me, I wanted to get a drink of water. I am going to order some extras that if someone reaches out and would like one from me, they can request that. But this is the cover of the new annual catalog, and I made a note here for the scrapbookers that there are 4 scrapbooking workshop kits in here. Now remember, with Stampin' Up! And doing online exclusives, there's 2 places to look for new product. The catalogs and online. So there can always be more scrapbooking workshop kits found in either place. But this is the new catalog, and I am excited to share with you that Stampin' Up! Listened to our feedback. Last year's catalog, you kind of had to go all over the place to find things. But this year, again, the designer series paper is all together. Your punches are together. Your dies are together. And making it really a lot easier so that you're not thumbing all the way through the catalog to try and find things. So, hi Sheila. Oh my gosh, I gotta tell you guys, I met so many of you who watch the Facebook Lives and who are part of the community group. So many that I'm afraid that if I start rattling off names, I may forget somebody, because that's just how my mind works. When I'm super focused, I forget. So, but I do want to say that my biggest thrill was getting to meet you and take pictures with you and just be able to just make the final connection. You know, we see each other's names on Facebook and comments and stuff. And we may even share some personal emails or things in Messenger. But to actually meet in person was such a thrill. I had such a great time. So, oh, Tony, you know, that little guy needs you. There's always replay. So let's get, honestly, I do feel good. I just have this where I need to drink some water, and but I feel fine. Some didn't come back feeling so fine. Where's some wood I can knock on, because I sure hope that that's the case, that I came back feeling okay. So let's talk about the in colors. And we're going to do them one at a time. And the first in color I want to show you, which I didn't think would be my favorite, and it is now my favorite. Let me zoom in here. And there, that's better. It is my favorite right now. Out of all 5, it's my favorite, and it's called Secret Sea. This is a blue-black cardstock. Okay, and I'm going to show you some colors that I pulled from our current colors, just so that you can see where it might fall. So this is Secret Sea, and when you've got it in front of you, physically holding it, you can see the real deep blue, maybe indigo, maybe, but it is a very blue-black color. So here was what I want to do. I'm going to bring in the blues first. I pulled Misty Moonlight and Night of Navy. Let's make sure you can see these. that you can see these well. I gotta let Facebook catch up. There we go. And then this is where Secret C falls in. Okay. Wow. Facebook's kind of fuzzy today with lives. Maybe it was because I was moving my hands. But you can see where Secret C falls in. Darker than Night of Navy, has great contrast with Misty Moonlight. Now let me bring in Basic Black so that you can see that it's not black. Here's Basic Black, and there is Secret C. Now, to me, it has like a dark denim look. So just, what I love is these colors can take on, this one color can take on so many, depending on what you put it next to. Okay, so that is Secret C compared to all of these other blues. Okay, so that's Secret C. And then let's look at Darling Duckling. Yes, it is a yellow. The name gave it away. So here I have Daffodil Delight, excuse me, Crushed Curry. And here is Darling Duckling. It's kind of like a gold yellow, but it's not wild wheat. Okay. So I'm hoping that you get some really good comparisons. Now, when I bring in Lemon Lolly, you'll be able to see a nice contrast too. So here's Lemon Lolly, and there's Darling Duckling. Okay. So come on, Facebook, catch up. I'm ready to keep moving. So there's Lemon. Oh gosh, the color looks totally washed out on my computer. I hope it looks better on your end. But that is Lemon Lolly, Darling Duckling, Daffodil Delight, and Crushed Curry. Okay. So what are you thinking? So Kathy says, almost reminds me of Starfruit. See, I don't remember any. I mean, yeah, I was in and out buying Stampin' Up! Product, but there's a lot that I just do not remember. Show the Wild Wheat. Okay, let me see. Let me grab Wild Wheat here. Now this is an in color that's leaving. So this is Wild Wheat. Oh my goodness, now this is something to look at. Now Darling Duckling just got a whole new color when you put it next to Wild Wheat. Hi Brenda, how are you? Have you rested up from the experience? Yeah, Susan, they're not coming through. Pam, it does look a little greenish, especially depending on what color you're putting it through. I see a lot of green in this yellow. So, you know, this is just kind of where it falls. Well, let's put this, Wild Wheat, and Darling Duckling. So yeah, depending on what you're putting it through, you'll get, it might speak a gold yellow to you. It might even speak kind of on the green side. But that's kind of where Darling Duckling comes in. I can't wait for you to see these colors in your hand because they are just really, really, really beautiful colors. Can I put it on white? Sure. That's a really good suggestion. Okay. So Darling Duckling on white. Let's go back and get Starry Sky. Put Starry Sky on white so that you can get maybe a truer sense of the color. Great suggestion, Jane. Thank you for saying that, because each color will throw on the white background too, so that you can see what it looks like. Now it really seems like just a tone or a hue lighter than crushed curry, until you put crushed curry next to it, and it just totally blows your thought process out of the water. Okay? Yes, and Lemon Lolly looks creamy. So those were those two colors. And now let's bring out Timid Tiger. But I'm going to show you Pumpkin Pie, Peach Pie, and Timid Tiger. Almost takes on a Calypso Coral feel. But you put it next to Calypso Coral and it's not Calypso Coral. So it's really going to be a lot of fun playing with these colors. But you know, Stampin' Up, they're going to coordinate everything, so it takes the guesswork out of it for us. Maybe, yeah, okay, I'm going to leave that alone. And then let's look at it on just the white. Now we're looking more orange. And let me, just because I can, I'm going to bring in some Calypso Coral and see how totally makes Calypso Coral look more like, I don't know, more of a red, a pinkish color. So, terracotta, yeah. Yeah, it does. Especially when you put it next to other things. So this is Calypso Coral in the back, and then Timid Tiger next to it. Totally blew my thought process. What I thought I knew, I absolutely don't know. Okay, so that's Timid Tiger. Now, cloud cover. Stampin' Up found that when the ink pad, as the ink dried, the ink looked more gray than the blue that they were going for. So, I don't know when the ink pad will be available, but they went back to the drawing board on that. They didn't want to put out, quality that certainly doesn't live up to their standards. So they're going back and redoing that. We played with the Stampin' Write markers, and that was a real beautiful color, kind of like a blue-gray. So the ink pad, I don't know when that will come in, but they're redoing that because it didn't live up to their standards. But the cardstock and the Stampin' Write markers are really, really good samples of the color. So with cloud cover, I'm going to bring in Balmy Blue. I'm going to bring in, now this one is a tricky one because, man, I was all over the place with this. And Lost Lagoon. And here is cloud cover. Next to these two, it looks like smoky slate or gray granite, but it's not either one of those, because if I bring in smoky slate, now look. So looking at current colors that we have, this one was really tricky for me. Let's look at it on white. And there you have that blue-gray color that they're going for. Let's move this up here a little bit. So on white, beautiful blue-gray. Not boho blue, which, do I have a boho blue? I do, and this is going to blow your mind, because you know how boho blue has that, I don't want to say the word dirty, but I can't think of the word right now. Boho blue put next to this. Now this does, if I was just to name a color off the top of my head, I'd say, oh, smoky slate, when it's on the boho blue. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think that because they can blend with so many different colors, you're going to get a lot of different uses out of it. So they didn't have the blends there, Janice, so we didn't get to use any of those. So that's Cloud Cover. And then the last one is called Strawberry Slush. Now, if you've been around, I guess this color was a color back in the day, but I don't remember it. I brought in Melon Mambo, and I brought in Flirty Flamingo, and here is Strawberry Slush. So it kind of reminds me of Lovely Lipstick. Now, I remember Lovely Lipstick. That was when I came back into Stampin' Up. That would have been in I signed up in 2019, so maybe 2018, 2019. And that's what Strawberry Slush reminds me of, is like a shade of Lovely Lipstick. But when you put it next to these two, takes on its own color. Kathy is happy. Oh, she didn't get rid of her Strawberry Slush. You're already ahead of the game, Kathy. And then if we put the Strawberry Slush on the white, if you remember Lovely Lipstick, can you kind of see what I mean about the color? It just kind of reminds me of that. So, yeah, I mean, if I had like past colors like the other Stampin' Up! Demonstrators who have been with Stampin' Up! A long time, you can pull out closer shades to what the in colors are. I'm just pulling what is current. We can't go back and buy the older retired things anyway, but how do these colors play with what we can order is kind of what I was trying to show you here. Okay? So, Strawberry Slush. So, these are the new 2025, 2027 in colors. And in person, they are just so nice. And I did get to stamp a little bit with Strawberry Slush. We did a night where we could play with all of these things. But for me, we were all so close together, I just couldn't get comfortable to create, so I didn't do it. But I did do a little bit of stamping, and I can tell you that Strawberry Slush is a beautiful ink color. Other than that, I did more talking than anything else. So, there we go. So, I hope that kind of just gave you some kind of insight to the in colors and what's coming our way. Now, I know you want to get busy and you want to make the Kaleidoscope tile card. So, let's bring in what we're going to use. I've cut 8 1/4" by the length of a 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. So a 1/4" by 11 piece of cardstock, because I don't have any papers with the new in colors in yet. I just put in a pre-order. So I don't have anything other than cardstock to play with, but that's okay. Because, now make sure I've got the right colors here. Nope, this one here is, nope, that is Strawberry Slush. I brought in some of those colors that kind of go with them so that I could get my 8 colors. Okay, that one's Strawberry Slush. This one's Flirty Flamingo. Now, that one there is Darling Duckling. And I brought in Peach, let's see, I brought in Peach Pie to coordinate with Timid Tiger. I got Lemon Lolly to go with Darling Duckling. Now, the Secret Sea and Cloud Cover, those look really good together, so I just used them. And then I brought in Flirty Flamingo to contrast with the Strawberry Slush. Okay, so those are the 8 colors that I am using. Hi, Tina. Okay, can we start? Sharon, there is always replay. I want to go at this pace to, you know, kind of share what the new colors were. So, for those of you that can't go or want to get moving, if you catch replay, you can fast forward to where you want to be with the live. So there's my 8 colors. And when I was rewatching my video from 2021, and I was trying to, you know, put my triangles in a certain place, I thought, what, Julie, why are you making it so hard? Cut a 3-inch square, and this 3-inch square of basic white is what we're going to put our triangles on. Then we'll quilt it, and then we'll put it on our card. So a 3-inch square of basic white. I'm going to use basic white thick as my card base. Okay, and I'm going to see which of these 2 layers I want to use once I get my quilt block done. One might speak to me more than the other. So these are layers, and then here's our layer for the quilt block also, where our sentiment will go. Remember when I did the Polaroid layout and I said it was my first time? Obviously it wasn't my first time, because it was brought to my attention, Julie, when you did that live in 2021, you did a Polaroid card. It's just been so long ago, and I didn't revisit it, that I didn't realize that. So I want to come back down a little bit. So those are just our layers. Okay, let's get to putting our strips on our foundation. You'll need a 2-inch. You can even go a little bit bigger to make sure your strips all fit on it. But I've got a 2-inch by 11-inch piece of basic white, regular basic white. It's not too thick. You could use copy paper, whatever. You just need a foundation to glue your strips down to. So you can use whatever adhesive you like. I wanted to play with our adhesive sheets. So I am going to take this adhesive sheet and I'm going to put it right down onto that piece of basic white. I have not really played with these much, and I'm telling you what a lifesaver these adhesive sheets are. Now I want to make sure that I'm not sticking my fingers all over it, so I'm going to pull some of it back, and you can see the adhesive there. And I have done this so many times, and I'll tell you, I still can't get this to come off perfectly without something hanging over the edge. So well, that just ruined. I'm going to have to go back in with some glue. So for me, this is a learning process here. And I'm just going to keep pressing this down. And here I'm getting off a little bit. So I may wrinkle it, but I go back in and I save it. Because I just can't, for the life of me, get this to go straight the very first time. Oh, Lord. I'm going to hold that and kind of pull this. Oh, whatever here. See how I get wrinkles? But that's okay, because when I pull this off, I go back in and I touch it up with my liquid glue. And I'm telling you, nothing goes right when you're doing a live. There's always going to be something you can learn from, and we can all say, like, share how you would troubleshoot that. So, just burnishing that. And then I better get some liquid glue going here. Now I'm going to take this off. Okay, I'm going to lift that other piece off. And now I've got sticky on the whole piece of my foundation. And where I found that I lost some, because like either this, it gets stuck to my hand, or I didn't get enough adhesion that there's still some cardstock showing, I just go in and I touch it up with a little bit of liquid glue. Okay, so now I'm going to put my strips down, and I'm going to keep my light and my dark, so to speak, of each color next to each other. So I'm going to start out with Duckling. I'll put that right up there. And I'm just keeping it along. Well, I got it a little off on the end, but that's okay because we're going to square these up. Okay, so, and then I'll come in. Oh my gosh, I got adhesive all over my fingers. I'm going to come in with the Lemon Lolly because I like these two together. Just going to butt them up. Whoops. That one moved on me. There we go. Now, I might have just sold you on this adhesive sheet, or I've given you reason that you're like, okay, I'm staying away from that. I just feel really uncoordinated right now. Okay, so let's come in with Strawberry Slush. And I'm just looking for colors next to each other that show some contrast. Because I think when you've got contrast next to each other, then the pattern from the kaleidoscope really shows up when you put it all together. I would suggest even your foundation piece with your adhesive on it be maybe just a little bit bigger than 2 inch, because you can trim it down. That way, if in your cutting of your 1/4 inch strips you find that I don't want to say off, but there's a slight difference in your 1/4 inch, then it'll go the length of, and you can decide how you want to trim it up. Let's bring in Oh, that didn't show enough contrast. I'm going to go bring in my Secret Sky, because I think that next to Flirty Flamingo has good contrast. And if anybody has some tips you want to share while you're watching me fumble through this, please put them in the comments so that I can go back in and read them afterwards. I learned so much from y'all when you share the little tips and tricks that have helped you with the technique or the process. So please share. Here's this one. So this 2-inch by 11-inch strip is going to give you enough 2-inch squares to make 2 cards. And you know, when you're cutting one card base, unless you've got just one single one laying around, if you've got to cut one, you're really cutting 2. So I thought, let's just make enough that we can get 2 blocks out of our one strip here. Okay, so here's our strip. Now I'm going to bring in my trimmer because we want to cut these. We're going to need 4 2-inch squares, and this gives us a chance to give us a nice clean edge on the end. Okay, so I'm just going to put this in a little bit, maybe at 1/4 inch, maybe a little less. I want to clean up that end right there, and that's the end that I'm going to work from. So I just gave myself a nice straight edge, and now I'm going to cut these at 2. Well, let's make sure, turn it over and make sure you're within your 2-inch width. Trim off anything that is hanging over, because these need to be 2-inch square. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut 4. And then I'll make the other one later. Now, you don't have to use 8 different colors. You could have just chose 2 colors and alternate them. And but you need 8 strips. So how many colors you want, just know that you're going to need 8 to make this quilt block. Okay, I'm going to set aside 2 of those because that'll be a future, well, the card afterwards. Okay, I'm going to use that so I can take my pictures for the PDF. Okay, Demetra, I love your tip, making them a little bit bigger, that you can go in and cut down what you need. And Barb, I like your comment also, that with the original live and making that base even 1/4 inch or an 8-inch wider does give you the wiggle room. Okay, so now we've got our 2 squares. Now we're going to cut our triangles. Okay, so this doesn't matter if you turn it on point clockwise or counterclockwise, but I just tend to always turn everything counterclockwise. So I'm going to stick this square in my trimmer with the points across from each other. Looks like a diamond. Okay, and I'm not going to come in with my blade on the corners, so I'm just going to kind of put it there in the middle, and I'm going to cut up and down so that I've cut that square in half to create 2 triangles. Now what I need to do is I need to cut these triangles in half again. So now I'm going to take my long edge and I'm going to put it across the top of my trimmer and put just the point or the mountain top there in the track. And I'm going to cut. And we'll match all these up once we get them all cut, because we're going to have to put them kind of in pairs. Okay, so go ahead and do the other triangle. And we're going to do it one more time with the other square. I will say that I don't know if it's got to be almost the adhesive sheets. I'm getting a lot of kind of stickiness on my trimmer. And I didn't really use that much liquid glue. So, put this across the top. And you've been seeing a lot of cards already made with this block, because that was what I shared a week ago. And so you may already have some ideas of what colors you want to use and how many you need. Okay, so we've got our triangles cut. Now we're going to find the ones that match. The first thing I'm going to do is see how you've got some triangles where your colors are running vertically. I want to separate my vertical stripes from my horizontal stripes. Okay, the horizontal stripes are going to be on the outside of our quilt block, and the vertical stripes are going to be on the inside. And so I've got 2 of each of these. And I should have 2 matching pair of the vertical ones. Okay. Oh my gosh, those colors are so pretty. Now, let's bring in that 3-inch square. This is that we're going to build our quilt block on. Just going to keep these together. So remember I said that the horizontal stripes are going to go on the outside. So they're going to go, you're going to match up the corner with the corner of your base there, and we're going to put them across from each other. So those will go like that. Your other 2 are going to go across from each other. Okay, so it looks something like that. And we can go ahead and we can glue these down. Make sure that you get them pushed all the way to the outside. Try not to let leave any white showing from your base that's underneath there. And on this adhesive sheet, I got these little tiny little glue balls almost from the blade getting in there and pulling on that adhesive. But it sure does, it does make things easier. But you could have easily just put some liquid glue or tape runner on the back of your strips and put them down that way. And then you wouldn't be fumbling like you saw me fumble trying to... I didn't have a lot of wiggle room because as soon as my cardstock was touching the adhesive sheet, it was wanting to stick. But I wanted to try something different. I've been looking at that packet of adhesive sheets for quite a while, and I thought, you know what? I see other demos making it look so easy. I'm going to give it a try, and I'll just have to get used to it because I felt a little awkward. I'm going to run my fingers down the sides to make sure that I can push it in and not have a lot of, you don't want to have a lot hanging on the outside there. Okay, so there is that. We can set that aside for a minute. Now we're going to play with this is going to create our kaleidoscope on the inside. So it's going to be on point. So your longest edge of all your triangles is going to be on the outside. So just put all your long sides to the outside. And now what we want to do is, I want to pair up one or the other of these triangles, because I want to make that, I want to create my mitered corners, okay? So here, when I've matched up my colors, you can see that mitered corner. And it's creating, it'll create an X when we're done. So I'm going off of the oranges there, and I found the oranges in my other triangle. And now you can see the mitered corners. So that's what you're looking for. When you're trying to put it together on point. It seems to be easier for me. So now we've got this kaleidoscope on the inside. And that is going to fit on the inside of our block. Now, if you want to put these together without any separation, you can do that. But I'm going to put the smallest of separation between my outside triangles. I'm just going to like pull it apart. What I mean by that is that I'm just going to spread them out a little bit. This is way too far, but you get what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to put my triangles back together touching each other. I'm going to leave that space in between. Kathy said, when using DSP for a background, I cut my next two mats a 1/4 inch smaller. Oh, okay. Julie, what I do is I have found that hand sanitizer takes a lot of the adhesive off of my trimmer. I use hand sanitizer a lot. I use it to clean my blocks. It takes off things with my acrylic blocks. I use it on my trimmer. I use it a lot to clean off adhesive. So, yeah, I've got a bottle of hand sanitizer as part of my toolkit. Okay, so I'm going to take these and I'm going to play first. So I am just going to put these down and I am going to look for an even space between my outside triangles and the inside triangles that I just put down. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for that little bit of separation with that white. Now you don't have to use white. These bright colors would look really pretty if I had a black foundation piece and the black was coming up through instead of white. But you get rubbing alcohol works too. Thank you, Becky, for sharing that. Hey, Vicky. Okay, so now once you like it, then you can pick up your pieces and you can glue them in. Again, this is just like, a little bit bigger than a 1/16, but not an 1/8. And don't push them down right away in case you need to go back and wiggle them around a little bit. Just set them in place. And then once you see that you've got the separation that you want, And I'm also trying to make sure that I've got a nice straight line for the two of them, you know, going across. There's also something about this block that I love using cardstock, because it's got that really nice flat color. The colors are standing out on their own. They're not competing with, let's say, a designer series paper that has a lot of pattern or something to it. I like this flat look. And it reminds me of barn quilts. Okay, so I'm just going to try and push these a little bit. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this. So there is my Kaleidoscope tile featuring the new 2025-2027 in colors, with a few of our regular colors worked in just to show some contrast with them. And now I can quilt this. So I'm going to use the swirl embossing folder, which carried over into the new catalog. And that is this one right here. I like the movement on this, and when I show you my sample cards, I'll show you. I really like the fluidity of this. So I am going to step to the side, and I am going to quilt this. Okay. Whoops. Hold on, I got to get the right plate. It's not working either. Oops, I forgot. Okay. Here we go. All right. Look at how I just love the movement in this quilt block. Can you see it very well? Just love that. So there is my quilt block. And now I'm going to set it to the side because we're going to just put our card together. So I've got my card base. We'll get this folded in half. And I'm not doing any stamping because I'm going to use the Mix and Match ephemera pack to pop up my sentiments. So there's my card base. And remember, I wasn't sure what color I want to go with. Now, mind you, there's going to be another layer. This is going to become our Polaroid right here with this layout right here. And then I think I'm going to go with Timid Tiger. And I'll use the other one on my next card. Yeah, I'm going to go with Timid Tiger. So now it's just a matter of putting our layers together. So this is going to go down first, leaving that nice border all the way around. And then I'm going to put my white and that's going to go here. Now you can pop up your quilt block if you want. I'm just going to glue mine down. Uh-oh, I got something. There we go. Okay. And now I'm just going to put this up towards the top. Remember, it's going to look kind of like a Polaroid. Move it a little bit. Tombow gave me some wiggle room. There's my quilt block. This little adhesive ball, there we go, got that out of there. Okay, so there's my quilt block on my card. And I'm using the Mix and Match ephemera pack that's got all these beautiful greetings that all you have to do is punch them out. And I put them, I'm using dimensionals. Did I use the wrong side? I did. I used the wrong side of my sheet here. I am really lucky. These are coming off. Okay, I'm going to put happy birthday. And I think I'm going to have my happy birthday coming off the edge a little bit. I love things that fall out of bounds. Okay, so there's happy birthday. And I did another one, hey, that I can maybe use on the next one. And now I want to show you these beautiful in color pearls that you'll be able to get in the new catalog. We got these at On Stage. And I think I'm going to bring out the, let's see, I was going to use Secret C, but then that blends in with the black too much. So how about, I love pink, orange, and black together, so I'm going to have to go with Strawberry Slush. And I'm just going to put some of these dots around. Oh, I don't want to do, no, not that one, because that's, oh, I said I was going to use pink. Strawberry Slush. Okay. Pay attention, Julie. So I'm just going to put these around my sentiment. Let's put maybe one right there. And that's it. That is all I'm doing to my card. Because I want my quilt block to be the star of the show. But you could, if you go, Amanda box card comes to mind. She did a Minnesota Viking card with this pattern, and she put her sentiment and then she's got the Viking on it. You can decorate this bottom. You can embellish any way you want. Me personally, I was going for a clean, simple way to embellish, so I just went with, you know, just the sentiment and a few of the pearls. But you can, this is an open canvas for you to do whatever you want with it, okay? And now I want to show you the other ones that I had done prior. Okay, so that's today's card. But here's a thinking of you. Is this not bold and beautiful on this card? I just love it. And this ephemera pack just makes it so easy. If you're not in the mood for stamping and you just want to punch these out, all of these sentiments, I did put dimensionals on the back. So I just think this is my favorite, to tell you the truth. I just love that. If I had a stamp that was exactly like that, I would probably use it all the time. But I'm not a real good fussy cutter. So what I like about the ephemera pack is they're already fussy cut for us. And we don't have to do it. Okay, so there's that one. And that is with the Secret C border. This one here is the cloud cover border around the quilt block. And how cute is that? Just that little tiny hello in the corner. I just love it. Just so simple. And that white, you know, the basic white. We have just the most beautiful white. So it looks clean and crisp. And then this one is the Darling Duckling layer. It says Sending Sunshine. And then this one is the Secret Sea again. And I use Thankful for You. And then here is one with Strawberry Slush as the background or the layer, and that says thanks. And here's Timid Tiger that says Sending Hugs. And notice how different your kaleidoscopes all looked. And that changes when you change the pattern of your strips, when you're putting your strips down. Change that pattern, it changes the kaleidoscope. Okay? I am happy to oblige, Becky. Okay, so that is the Kaleidoscope tile. You can look for Amanda. If you type in Stampin' Up! Amanda Fowler, it'll get you over to her Facebook page, and then you can find her YouTube channel. When you watch Amanda, when she does her Tuesday lives, if you want to get right to the project, you're going to want to advance about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes. I love that Amanda takes the time to really talk with everyone who's following her during her live. But if you want to get right to the projects, then you need to kind of advance the replay a bit. Okay? Love her, love watching her, love following her. Again, her name is Amanda Fowler. And she's in the UK. So, that's the project. That's Kaleidoscope Tile. Look for the PDF to drop this weekend. I'm going to try and get it done as soon as possible. But it won't be today. So, you'll have that then in the files to go with the live. And then I don't have to worry about uploading that. I don't think that that live is on YouTube anyway. But we'll have a current live that you can watch instead. Okay? So thank you for spending your Thursday morning with me, and have a very blessed day. And I can't wait to see what your cards look like. I want to see what your kaleidoscopes look like. You can post those pictures over in the group Quilt Cards and More. And you can find a link from the Chirpy page. If you go to the More tab and click, and a drop down menu happens, look for groups and then choose Quilt Cards and More. Ask the join questions. I'm pretty particular about those questions being answered. And then you'll be able to see all the inspiration that awaits you over in that group. You're welcome, everybody. And I will be checking in with you soon, okay? Oh, happy spring. First day of spring, right? Happy spring.